What is the Daniel fast? The Daniel fast is a partial fast in which some foods are restricted. It's a biblically based fast fashioned on the experience of the prophet Daniel. Remarkably, the Daniel fast has become one of the most popular forms of fasting, perhaps because it is not as demanding or daunting as eating nothing for many consecutive days. Instead, the eating plan for the Daniel fast is similar to a vegan diet, completely plant-based with no animal products, though somewhat more restrictive. The Daniel fast is based on Jewish fasting principles and the experiences of the prophet in Daniel 1 and Daniel 10. In Daniel 1 verse 12, we read Daniel's request to the steward. "Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink." King James Version. Pulse was food that originated from seed, including legumes and fruit. Daniel also requested that they drink only water. This reference is what anchors the Daniel fast as a plant-based eating plan, with the only beverage being water. Since the diet is totally plant-based, no animal products are consumed, including fish, shellfish, dairy products, or eggs. In Daniel 10 verse 3, we learn that during a time of great mourning, Daniel also abstained from meat, pleasant food, and wine. It's on the basis of this account that we eliminate sweeteners, candy, and desserts from the Daniel fast, along with alcohol, even in recipes. Sweeteners excluded during the Daniel fast include sugar, honey, agave nectar, stevia, cane juice, and syrups. Because Daniel was a man of God, we can assume that he also followed Jewish fasting principles. In preparation for Passover, Jewish people removed all leavening products from their homes and did not include them in recipes. So during the Daniel fast, all leavening products are eliminated, including yeast, baking powder, and baking soda. Lastly, all the food on the Daniel fast is natural, which eliminates man-made chemicals, artificial flavorings and colorings, food additives and preservatives, and highly processed foods. We also use no stimulants, including caffeine. Length of the Daniel fast. There is not a definite period of time when you should engage in the Daniel fast, nor is there a predefined number of days. Many people use this method of partial fasting for as few as 7 days. However, to gain the health benefits of the fast, I found that a longer period is better. It seems that most people use the Daniel fast for a 21-day period, partly because that's what the prophet did in Daniel 10 verse 2, and also because many corporate fasts are called for a 21-day period. I have used the Daniel fast for as few as 10 days and for as many as 50. The length of your fast can be determined by the leaders of a corporate fast or by promptings from the Holy Spirit. One time I was fasting for a 3-week period. I completed the fast, but the very next day I was prompted to continue fasting for 2 more weeks. So I advise you to follow the leading of the Holy Spirit if you are not sure about how long to fast. Are you ready? Even though you can eat during the Daniel fast, it is no less effective than a complete fast. The power in fasting has less to do with food than with setting yourself apart for a specific period of time to focus more on the Lord, prayer, and worship. In other words, the power of fasting is found when you consecrate yourself to the Lord and discipline yourself to focus on Him. That's how your spiritual experience is enhanced. Don't get me wrong, there is sacrifice and discipline involved in the Daniel fast. Though eating meals consisting of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds may not seem difficult, you will have your battles. The cravings begin when you give up all sweeteners, caffeine, probably the hardest for most people, all beverages except water, leavened breads, chemicals, and deep-fried foods. But that's all part of the fasting experience as you overcome the flesh by denying it the food it craves. Your period of prayer and fasting should be different from your typical days. Think about how you approach a vacation. It's also a distinct time in your life. You prepare for your vacation to make sure everything is in order. And while you are vacationing, you have very specific goals, whether they be relaxation, new experiences, or a separated time with your family and friends. You do different activities on your vacation as you experience this set-apart time. Similarly, your fast is a distinct time that will be different from your usual days, so you will want to prepare for it. Just like you enter into a period of vacation, you will enter into your fast. You will do different activities, and you will have specific goals. Over the last few years, I have found that the benefits of fasting can be known only through the experience itself. I like to tell people that the Daniel fast is for the whole person, body, soul, and spirit. Your body will benefit from the healthy eating plan. Your soul, your emotions, intellect, and feelings will benefit from the spiritual discipline of fasting. And your spirit will grow in strength and in the knowledge of Christ and His ways. The power of fasting doesn't necessarily make sense to the natural mind. But spiritual fasting requires spiritual sense, a spiritual outlook, and trust in the Lord and His ways. Starting a Daniel fast is the first step toward an experience that will bring you closer to the Father, who desires a deep, abiding relationship with each of His children. Are you ready to cross that threshold? Are you prepared to join with thousands of others who are longing for a deeper, more effective life with God? Are you looking for an encounter with the Almighty? If you are, then it's time to learn about the Daniel fast.